And now, for an inspirational battle cry. Freedom! Welcome back, everyone. Today we're checking out the Valaverse Vanguard, and we're down here on the floor because these machines are so massive. Today we're going to be looking at a comparison, and I'm going to be giving you my own personal opinion and ranking on each of these vehicles today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up look at the Vanguard and some of its really cool features, and then we'll compare those to the features on our other feature vehicles today. Feature vehicle number 1, the Super 7 Ultimates TMNT Party Wagon, painted and customized by yours truly. Hence all the blotches and, shoddy work. Feature number 2, the Hasbro GIJoe Classified HasLab His Tank. So let's jump right in. Starting out with the Valaverse Vanguard. Some of the features and my overall impressions with this vehicle, and then we'll jump into our comparisons for today. Immediate impression when I got the box was, oh no, I had damage on the box and to my front winch here. My winch was damaged. It still is removable, but what was broken was this piece here underneath. And I was able to Gorilla Glue it since it was a pretty clean break. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a, see if I can give you a look there. See right there, and then I used a black marker, a Sharpie, to paint it. I felt like that was clever. But I was surprised that there was nothing protecting the vehicle in the box on the front and the back. My vehicle kind of rolled back and forth in the box, and I guess they didn't handle with care, and so it got some dings right on this point. And since we're there, let's look at that feature. You can go ahead and pull the winch right out. That's super dope. And I want to say that's like a foot long. And then using these twisty knobs, which don't look like twisty knobs, you can roll it right back in. I thought it was pretty cool. Looking around, you've got some really nice metallic paint here with the reflection, but it's pretty cool. You see how bright it is in there? So that's pretty chill. There is a slight texture on the vehicle overall. It's not very pronounced, but it is slight, so it's not just like a smooth plastic all throughout. So that was really cool. I was checking for that. I was really impressed with this stance and that profile from the front. Look at how tough that is. Move it back a little bit there. Right? I mean, it just looks absolutely wonderful the way these big old tires jut out from the front. I also noticed that the way this is sculpted, check this out. As I come up here, I don't know if you were going to see it, but there's like a concave sculpting at either side of the Jeep. And check this out. I don't have very large hands. I have average size hands, but I'm able to get my middle finger and my thumb over that vehicle and control it for driving. So that is dope. And I was checking for that also, because if you got to use both hands to move a vehicle, it limits your action play. These, I don't know what they're called, these mounts or these steps here on the side seem to be made of the same plastic that this portion was made of, the part that broke. And I'm mentioning that because it seems to be a little brittle. I mean, again, I don't know about engineering or construction or materials for action figures, but to me, it just feels like this. If you put too much pressure on it, you'll break it. So be mindful of that when you're putting your figures on the pegs. The doors open super easily, and you can even take them off, which, of course, it's going to give me a little bit of a challenge right now. But you can take the doors off. If you don't trust me, you can go see Analog Toys. I watched his video review on this, and I thought it was dope, very detailed. Check that out. You've got some seats that have a texture on it that give it that faux leather effect. These front seats can go back and forward. It's not moving for me now. I'm in a really awkward position here on the floor, so forgive me. But you see our soldier's feet here hanging down. The steering wheel does turn the wheels, but be careful because it feels a little delicate and I don't want to break my steering wheel. There are some nice painted features there on the dashboard. Again, check out Analog Toys with some other videos if you want a closer look. All 4 doors do come off. And these windows do prevent your seated soldiers from pointing their guns out the window. So I just noticed that and wanted to share it. Let's get a little closer. Up here at the top, this thing is dope. I don't know, I guess this is called a turret or something, but this thing is absolutely dope. It has like a click as it goes around, like the guy from Analog Toys mentioned. And it's just a really dope feature. When he holds on here, there is a little step or a little seat there where he can put his tush so it can help him balance while he's hanging down. This does not articulate up and down, as I almost pull it out the peg there, out the slot, but you can turn it a little bit, you know, without having to rotate the entire turret. So that's really cool. It goes all the way around, you know, pretty dope. Turn it around here to the back. Now back here, difficult to see, but I have a soldier in there and he's holding what I think is an M60. I don't know the names of guns. I don't have it connected to this peg right now. It can go over that peg and it can articulate and he can shoot about. Pull that off. He's seated in there comfortably with his feet, giving him a stable position. And that's actually my Hasbro Selfie Series portrait. And if he wasn't shooting, you could close that, no problem. Something that I was really excited with was how soft this rubber is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a durable, thick rubber, but it's rubber nonetheless, and it's soft. You see that squeeze? Very nice. You know, I just like that in terms of driving my vehicles around. The wheels themselves feel stable. They roll independently, so that's kind of like all-wheel drive, right? But you have like this little bit of wiggle here. See that? It's not a lot, and it doesn't really like feel frail at all, but I noticed it, you know? The wheels, however, don't have up and down wobble or kind of like off axis wobble. It's just this kind of like lateral wobble. I'm just like a nut for that stuff with the wheels, and I'll show you when we do our comparison. Now on this vehicle, you can, in theory, have your 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side, 4 inside of the cabin, 1 in the back, that gives us 9, and a soldier on top gives us 10. So this transport vehicle or this rapid urban assault vehicle can carry 10 soldiers. Hell yes. So now let's go into our comparisons really quickly and talk about the other vehicles. And I'll give you my final thoughts on this in a little more detail. All right, over here we have my custom army painted green party wagon from Super 7. All I did was do the paint. I kept the turtle symbol in the front because I thought it was funky. I think things like that are funky. Like Superman wearing the Batman glove with the kryptonite ring. I just find it funky. So I'm just showing you my paint job. I like it overall, but what messed me up when I put the sealer. Just a word of advice. If you ever use that spray sealer, the clear sealer, do not go over the same spot twice. Like if you were brushing your teeth. Because if you do, you get ugly spots like that and that, you know? But nonetheless, had to have the vehicle because I immediately saw it as an APC for my Joes. So in terms of some of the really cool features about this is that right now I have it carrying 1, 2, whoa, roadblock, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 soldiers in that vehicle right now. I could put one here in the middle, in the front. That would give us 9. And if I had to, really, I could stand 2 figures up in there. But as is, without getting creative, we can sit 8 people functionally and comfortably on that vehicle. And looking at the inside, you see everybody sitting comfortably. If I wanted to, I could squeeze another guy into that, make it 4 in that row. Get somebody else in here, that would bring us up to 10. And that's pretty dope. And how terrifying would that be if a door swings open like this and you've got Roadblock staring at you with a massive Magnum. Bump. And just to look at the tires, right? Because I told you I'm a tire guy. This is a very nice rubber. You see it's not as thick as the one on the Vanguard, but it's a very nice, substantial rubber. Feels soft. My worry with this was if that you're resting it on a hard surface for too long, and because it's thin, you're gonna get that flatness on it. Fortunately, I have a rug here. Squishy, squishy. But these wheels, check it out, they don't wobble. They don't wobble. That side to side lateral wobble, you know? So it's possible with engineering, I'm just saying, and that's my preference in terms of the stability of the vehicle. In terms of attack options, you only have these two up here, but you do have two open windows in the front that they can shoot out of. You have roadblock that can swing open and shoot, and he can do that with a chain gun. He can do that with an M60. He can do that with an automatic shotgun or two automatic shotguns or grenade launchers, you know, when this thing swings open. But you could also have soldiers ready to shoot from a seated position or kneeling position inside this cabin. You know, so just a word on that. The top is also so massive that you could have soldiers positioned up there. This piece here, I think is perfect for a sniper to be laying down, you know, to have an elevated position. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent urban response armored personnel carrier. Hell yes. Feature number 2, the Cobra Hiss. Stacked with weapons. Completely stacked with weapons. Deco in appearance, beautiful. Rivets, details, surfaces, geometric lines to the T. You can carry one here, one on the other side, 2. Somebody here, 3, somebody there, 4. Somebody seated in the cabin, 5. And here on the back, I have 2 of the Hiss technicians or whatever. I'll give you a quick close look. And that's a beautiful interior that even if the seat wasn't there, could only accommodate about 4 crouching soldiers just crammed like sardines. But the vehicle itself is absolutely amazing. There are no wheels on this vehicle because it has treads that work perfectly. Look at that. They all turn. The treads are not slipping on those wheels. Absolutely beautiful vehicle. Listen to that sound. You have guns here, 12 missiles at either side, guns here. I mean, beautiful vehicle. And oops, pulled that out. Give you a look from the front. I mean, bells and whistles galore on this vehicle. The interior here with the lighting. I mean, this is an absolute masterpiece of a toy. I do have one other 112 vehicle, and it is up there, and it is the Super 7 Ultimate's Thunder Tank, which is enormous and massive to a whole other degree. And I'm gonna show you real quick. So I'm gonna bring the Vanguard. I'm gonna sit it back here, butt to butt with the Super 7 Thunder Tank. All right, and you see that the Vanguard can sit here in the profile of that center cabin with the treads of the Thunder Tank at both sides exposed, and the front of the arm and the full entire bullet head front cabin portion of the Thunder Tank also exposed. This vehicle can carry, I believe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can throw some more in there. But seated comfortably, no cheating, 6 figures, and that thing is massive next to the Razor Crest. I mean, it's massive. All right, so coming back home. Let's look at the Vanguard and the Hiss tank side by side. We'll pan up slowly here. Pretty nice, right? Pretty comparable in size. We have the concave styling there. Look at how beautiful the profile on those tires is. Here we have that traditional Hiss bullet shape. But again, a lot to grab onto and move. Next up, we have the side-by-side with the Party Wagon. And I forgot to mention that this is armor. That's armor, man. You know, so I can get that up like that. I could also drop these these windows. I mean, open those windows. So those are also shooting ports. That's why I commented on the fact that none of these windows are openable, if that's even a word. But there we go side by side. And you see that much bigger bus-like profile. This one looks like it's sitting lower, even though the top of the cabin is not much lower than the top of the cabin here. But because it has that concave look, the jutting out wheels, the low hood, it just kind of has like this look like it's a creeping predator, you know, in the brush or something like that. Pan up so you can see. And the Party Wagon is a much more large vehicle that can accommodate 8 comfortably. If you get creative, maybe as many as 12. But the Vanguard can transport 10 soldiers for you, and it is the most compact vehicle of the 4 that we've seen today. I've removed the turret and I've replaced it with this, I don't know, manhole at the top of that thing there. And now it gives you a more sporty look. Our final battle of 112 vehicles, and you're getting, this is like breaking news. I haven't done this tabulation, calculation, consideration before right now. All right, I've got some categories for you. I've got 6 categories. The first category is design, look, and appeal. All right, so in terms of design, look, and appeal, meaning just the overall way the vehicle looks, does it evoke that feeling, that nostalgia? Also, is it just cool looking as is? And for that, in first place for design, I have the Hiss tank. For obvious reasons, with all the bells and whistles, the rivets and everything like that. In second place, I have the Party Wagon in terms of design and overall look. Just because of all the funky colors, all the different textured surfaces, I just think that design-wise, it edges out the Valaverse, which comes in third place for round number 1. All right, so moving on. Category number 2, functionality. Now, when I talk about functionality, what I mean is, do all of the features on the vehicles do what they're supposed to do? Does it actually fit an action figure? Do your bars and your handle rails on your vehicles actually accommodate the size of the hand grips for your figures? Things like that. Do the doors work? The wheels work? Things like that. In first place, I've got the Valaverse Vanguard. Just because I think that this thing is so super battle ready, it just looks like it makes sense. The way the doors work, the seats that go back, these massive rubber wheels, the turret on the top, the way the back opens up and you can have a soldier back there. First place in functionality, Valaverse. Second place, the Hiss tank. The Hiss tank second place because of how small that compartment is on the inside. It's difficult to get somebody to sit on the inside of that vehicle, and you could not get soldiers to stand up in that compartment. You know, so it's a wonderful looking vehicle, no knock to it, but the truth is the truth. Third place for functionality, the Turtle Van. The others edge it out, but not because functionality is limited on this vehicle. For the features that it has and what it's supposed to do, it hits on all of those features. It just doesn't have as many features as the other 2 vehicles. Category number 3, mobility. How does the vehicle move? Can I take it to the yard and play on the grass? You know, can I roll the vehicle around to shoot a short video and it'll keep rolling? Things like that. Can I roll the vehicle without feeling like it's gonna break because it's sitting too low to the ground and something might hit, or because it's on a delicate plastic that might rip off? In terms of mobility, first place, the Vanguard. Those wheels are badass, they're boss. They're gonna move for you. This vehicle reminds me of the cartoon, the commercial growing up. The animal. When I look at those tires, absolute beast. And mobility-wise, turning wheels. You're gonna roll this thing over small hills, sand, grass, gravel. You're gonna move this around, and certainly on rug. This thing is a fun vehicle to move. First place in mobility, first place in functionality. Second place in mobility, the Party Wagon. You thought I was going to say the Hiss tank, you know, because I pointed that way. The Party Wagon, because it also has massive wheels. The rubber is super soft. This vehicle rolls super smoothly. Look at that. I'm on carpet. It rolls super smoothly, and it's fun to roll about. It just doesn't have the ease of left to right turning that this one does. and it's not as easy to grab as this one because of the concave shape. Last place for mobility goes to the Thunder Tank, you know, but he's not in this ranking. He's not in this ranking. It goes to the His Tank because of the treads. As dope as they are for their authenticity, the vehicle really just doesn't lend itself to you taking it out and rolling it in the driveway or on a surface like that. Also because it really isn't, you're not gonna push this thing and have it roll for you. It does roll and the treads work, but it is a mofo to roll this sucker. So yeah, third place. Fourth category, if you're still hanging around, you're the champ and you really love toy comparisons. So this is for you. Fourth category, capacity. Which vehicle can actually transport the most soldiers into an emergency situation comfortably so that they arrive there and they're ready for battle and they're not all beaten down with broken necks and backs like in the His Tank. First place for capacity, the TMT Party Wagon. Whoa, the crowd goes wild. You're thinking to yourself, but wait a minute, the Vanguard can deliver 10 soldiers into a battle. Yeah, but 4 of them are hanging outside of the vehicle. 4 of the soldiers are hanging outside of the vehicle. So unless they're androids, I don't know how comfortable or safe that is. But for capacity, we're going to give it to the Party Wagon because you know what? I can sit 8 soldiers on this safely and they're protected. And last place, of course, the His Tank with, I think we said 7 or something like that. So yeah, and not comfortably because 4 of them are exposed. 5 of them are exposed, actually. And then the ones that are sitting in that cabin, it's like a nightmare. Category 5. We're coming up on category 5 and 6, ladies and gents. Category 5, weapons. Which one is going to go into battle and be the most effective assault force? His Tank, right? All day long, His Tank. Number 1, Vanguard. Number 2, that's with the turret attachment or the missile attachment at the top, not with this covered up version, right? So just a caveat on that. I don't have the missile version, but I do have the turret. And third place, the Party Wagon, who only has that, you know? I mean, you could have soldiers shooting through these slots, but last place, Party Wagon. Final category today, and then we're gonna tally up who my winner is. Final category, practicality. I've come to the conclusion with 112 vehicles that they really are, well, you know what? They're either really for young kids to have a ton of fun with, you know, and those parents have money for their kids to have a ton of fun with really large, expensive toys, or they're for adults that are looking for playset pieces, you know? And that's how I'll use my Thunder Tank eventually when I clean up my room. It'll be a feature set like sitting on a coffee table with some of my Thundercats, you know? But that Thunder Tank is not a practical play piece. It isn't. It has to sit somewhere. Unless you put a leash on it and you'd have to figure where to hang that leash and then drag that shit. But you better be in shape. In terms of least practical playability, and it's only by a small margin and it's only because somebody has to be number 1, I'm gonna go with the His Tank. And I know you're thinking, what? That's like the most sick looking vehicle there, man. You got the lights, you got the treads, you got the cabin, you got 12 missiles, bro. You got all these guns. Yeah, it looks absolutely dope, yo. And I'll set it up in a spot almost as if it was a small base, a small mobile base, and it was just like firing away from there. But in terms of like moving this thing around, it's a MF, bro. And yo, like, look, trying to turn this practical playability. You know, practical, that I can move it and play with it multiple times during play. It's going to conduct an assault here, and then it's going to move over here, and I'm not going to have a whole laborious act to get it over there. So that's why I mean, like, I think that 112 vehicles are playset feature pieces, more so than practical play pieces. And I think that various vehicles are at various places on that scale, you know. Second to last, the Party Wagon, and first place for practical playability, in my opinion, the Valaverse Vanguard. This thing is essentially an old school toy, just really, really big. Really, really big. You're gonna play with this thing. You're gonna take this thing to the beach. You're gonna take this thing. Well, watch out if you take it to the beach because the sand might get back here with the wheels. But you can give this thing in its passes, take it to your yard, roll it down some hills, man, get some nice video shots, throw these doors open, bro. The soldiers hold on. I could pull these doors out. You got like a beach Baja vibe going on in there, bro. They could be positioned to shoot. This is, in my opinion, the most practical and most playable vehicle of the collection that I have. And for that reason, I highly recommend this vehicle. Really impressive. Really, really impressive. As always, everybody, thank you so much for coming out and sharing in the experience of collecting toys as an adult. Because they're collectibles. They're collectibles. We're enthusiasm. Until next time, everybody. Thank goodness it's playtime.